So if we take a wrench and put it on a bolt and start to turn it, we call that torque. Okay, so torque, the symbol for torque is capital T, is the turning effect on a rigid object, which would be, in this case, a wrench, around an axis or fulcrum. So when the bolt that's turning around and around, that's the fulcrum. Okay, that's the part that's pivoting. Okay, it's measured in Newton meters, and N for newtons, small m for meters. It could also be called the moment of force. So torque is basically equal to the force on whatever the rigid object is and how far away we are from the fulcrum. So if you've ever had to take a bolt that was stuck out and you're trying, and it's not working, one trick is to get a longer wrench. So if you got a longer wrench, you get more torque and actually might be able to get the bolt out. So what I want to do is this example here. It says calculate the magnitude of the torque on the wrench. So in this case here, we have a wrench that's 0.25 meters long, and we're going to apply a force of 84 newtons to it. So first thing we're going to do is just write down the given information. So I know the distance is equal to 0.25 meters. The force applied is 84 newtons, and I'm looking for the torque, and the symbol for torque is capital T. So you just write down your given information, and now our formula for torque is it's right up here. Torque is equal to the force times the distance. So torque is equal to the force times the distance, and you just plug the numbers in. So the force was 84, my distance was 0.25, so I get 21 Newton meters. Our main formula for torque is simply torque is equal to force times distance. But there's two other words we have to actually become familiar with. One is effort torque, and the other one is load torque. So we use this word effort and load, and I just want to explain what they are. The formula is the same. Torque is force times distance. Torque is force times distance. Effort is the effort we put into moving something. So in the case with the wrench, okay, I'm moving the handle. So I'm creating the effort to move this handle round and round. Load is what we're trying to move. So if I have a big rock and I'm trying to move it with a stick like a lever, okay, the rock is the load. So the load is whatever we're trying to move. Effort is me putting the effort into moving it. The formula is the same, so don't worry about the formula. The formula is always torque is equal to force times distance. Torque is equal to force times distance. If you're trying to figure out the torque that, of me putting in my effort, then I just put little e's for effort. If it's the load, like the rock or the object or the bolt that I'm trying to move, I just put little l's for load. In this example, it says a camper is using a large plank as a first-class lever to move a rock. So if you're trying to move something really heavy, what we tend to do is you can put like a big stick or a plank underneath, have like a little fulcrum, which would be a small little rock, and you push down on it, you can actually move these really heavy objects. So it says the effort force has a magnitude of 4.5 times 10 to the 2 newtons. So that's the camper himself, okay? So the person is pushing down on this plank with a force of 4.5 times 10 to the 2 newtons. So we're going to write that down. So force of the effort is 4.5 times 10 to the 2 newtons. And it says the distance from the fulcrum to the effort force is 2.2 meters. So basically our plank is 2.2 meters long. That's the length of it. So I know the distance is 2.2 meters. And it's asking me for the torque, the effort torque. So torque, question mark. Well, you only have one formula, to be honest. So T is equal to force times distance. I'm calculating the effort, so all I do is I put little e's in. It doesn't change anything. Plug in what you know. So I know, move this over a little bit, 4.5 times 10 to the 2 times 2.2. And when I punch that into my calculator, I get 990 Newton meters. So don't let the little e's and f's in the formula confuse you. It will always be torque is equal to the force times the distance.